What's going on, guys? This is Simon from SG, and today we're going to learn how to set up and get started with using like Zoho Campaigns API. So with that, let's get into it. This is probably more confusing than it needs to be, but something I was doing recently. So yeah, let's get into it. So with Zoho Campaigns, you can use like their API to subscribe someone to like a mailing list by using another form that might not integrate with Zoho Campaigns. I know sometimes the form integrates with Zoho CRM, but not with Zoho Campaigns, and sometimes people just want to use a form from a third party to subscribe someone to a mailing list in Zoho Campaigns. So with that said, we are going to go to our Zoho Developer Console, and I will put this link in the description box below. I also have a blog post about this if you want more clarification. And always, you can leave some notes in the comments, and I'll do my best. So, the first step is to add a new client. So I'm going to add a server-based application, okay? And then I'm just going to call this this is going to be for a Gravity form. So I'm just call it Gravity. And then I'm going to type in my URL, my website, and notice that I put the backslash at the end, and then I'm going to enter in my URL, okay? And so here's my criteria. I'm going to click create, and I'll get a client secret and a client ID. So with that, I'm going to open up a text file just to store all this stuff, okay? And I'm going to copy this here, put it here, copy this here, put it there, okay? And then my redirect URI is this URL, okay? And the scope I want to use is Zoho Campaigns.contact@all. So you can go look at all the scopes for subscribing someone to a list, and essentially you can do just update, do just create. For this tutorial, I'm just do the scope I'm going to have is I can be able to delete contacts from a list, update contacts to a list, subscribe new contacts to a list, etc. Okay. So the next step can get really confusing, and before doing this, I would recommend you get Postman, okay, this API client called Postman. And it's on my screen in a second. I know there's different API clients out there. Insomnia, I don't know if the settings were set up right, but Postman I had the most success with. So I have my client ID, client secret, generated, okay, and what is the next step? I need to send request to Zoho so I can use this. So if I go here and I go up to access token, okay, it tells me that I registered a client, and now I need to do the generative access and refresh tokens. The first step is send an authorization request, okay, and I have this all right here. So what I'm going to do is it's this URL, okay? And if I break this down, I just need to replace my client ID that I just generated. So I'm going to take this, and then I also need to add in my client or my redirect URI right here, and I already have that in there. It's up there, okay? And then my scope is Zoho Campaigns.contact@all. Okay, so I'm going to send this request in my browser, the same browser I'm logged into on Zoho, and now I get this request, right? This was the client name, and I'm going to accept this, okay? Make sure you have Postman installed right now, because I'm going to get like a one-time code after this that I need to use like less than a minute. In my understanding, it's like less than a minute. So I'm going to click accept, okay, and I'm going to get this code, right? So I'm going to go and I am going to paste this code. It's right here. Okay, that's the code I just got up top. Okay, and I need to take this code and I need to insert right here into this URL. Then I need to take my client ID up here, and I'm going to re-add it back in. Then it'll be my client secret. I'm going to re-add it back in. And then my redirect URI, I'm going to re-add it back in. Cool. And now I'm going to take this URL and I'm going to go to Postman. Okay. And I have a new request. I'm just going to enter this in here. Okay. And now I'm going to click send. And there we go. I get my access token, refresh token, and I'm going to copy this, okay? And I'm going to put it right here. So here's all the stuff I got, and if I just if I scroll back up here, sorry. So I have this stuff that I just got in Postman, and I'm going to take this. Okay, and now I can do my first API request to subscribe someone to a list just to test to make sure my access token is working. My access token expires within an hour, so we need to use my refresh token, but nonetheless, I want to use my access token just to test that everything's working. So if I go back to my Zoho Campaigns, I'm just going to go back to Zoho Campaigns API, and I want to do the list management API, and I want to go to subscribe. Okay, and we're using version 1.1, and make sure that, and then scroll down to the sample JSON request. Okay, and I am just going to open this back up, and this is the sample JSON request. It's going list subscribe, request format, this list key, and then a sample name, right? So Mac, last name, and their email is jai@zoho.com. And then sources equals source name. This is not a required field, so for the sake of making it simpler, I'm just going to take this off. And I want to name my person, it's Mac. Okay, I'm going to do Mac. Let's do Mac Miller, or let's do Andrew Miller. Okay, and I'm going to do test9@sgwptest.com. Okay, and before I make this request, right, so if I take this and I open this up and let's do a new request on Postman. Okay, I'm going to enter this in here. You see that I need to add this list key value. Okay, and to get my list key, I need to go to my Zoho Campaigns, okay, and here's a list that I have that I want to use, okay, and I want to go to setup, and I want to copy this key, okay, this is in Zoho Campaigns, I'm copying my list key, cool, and if I go back to Postman, I want to post that there, okay, and now I also need to add in some headers stuff. So if I hide the auto-generated headers in Postman, I now have to get, if I scroll back over to here, oh, it says right here. I need to get my Zoho auth token and then the content type. So I'm just going to put this in there. So authorization, we'll post that there. Okay, and then content type, post that there, and then here we go. Okay, and I need to pass this access token. Okay, so I'm going to open back here, and here was my access token. Okay, I'm going to post that there. So if we go back here, we can see that these are the stuff they say to put in the header. Okay, and here is the URL that we're doing, the parameters, that Andrew Miller, test9@sgwptest.com, and I am just going to send this request. Boom, a confirmation email is sent to the user. User needs to successfully subscribe. So a good way to test this is just a test submission, but if I open this up, my email up, I get a confirmed subscription. Boom, I click that. I've successfully been subscribed. If this is gonna load, Cool. And now if I come back to my Zoho Campaigns and I go to all contacts, okay, Andrew Miller is in there. And if I click on his name, I can see the associated list is new newsletter. Okay. And that was generated because we looked at the manage the list, and we passed this list key. Okay. So that is just an example of how to get started with the Zoho Campaigns to subscribe users using the Zoho Campaigns API. And overall, this refresh token is going to have to be used. Okay. So at some point, you need to pass in the parameters or in the headers when they have this just, if we go back here, access token, right, defined, okay, eventually you're going to need to refresh this every hour. So you'll use your refresh token to refresh it every hour. Not going to get into that there, but essentially you're going to want to pass the refresh token, and then it's going to get that access token so it can refresh every hour. So anyways, this is just kind of how to get started. Again, I have a blog post where I kind of outline like the URLs I was copying and pasting, and trust me, it does help. I know for the longest time I was so confused, and part of the issue is that when I got that short-term code, this expires within 60 seconds. So if I didn't have Postman downloaded and ready to go, this could expire, and then I'm like, why can I not get my access token? What's going on? What's wrong? So basically it just was a big mess trying to figure it all out. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy this quick tutorial, and hopefully it saves you some time. If you like this video and enjoyed it, make sure to give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and comment what video you want to see next. Awesome. Have a great one, guys. Peace.